Hello gamers, it's your Team Schmungus tank player here aboard the Lifeweaver player, rank 7, rank 1 gamer god, and I'm gonna read through the patch notes and show you some footage in the background at the same time and give you some expertise from a top 500 player. First off, I'm gonna skip through the boring stuff. There's a bunch of stuff that is really boring and yap, who cares? And we're gonna go straight to the changes. First, new hero venture. We already played them, great hero. I'm excited to play more. First row is Doomfist, Rocket Punch. The Empowered Punch is no longer consumed when the windup is cancelled by using Seismic Slam or Power Block. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but it's a good quality of life change. There's some footage being played in the background as I speak. I don't think it's gonna make the character broken or anything, but it's definitely welcome. It sucks to have your Powered Punch disappear out of nowhere. Next up, we have Junker Queen Carnage. It's the axe. Impact damage increased from 90 to 105, which is actually quite a big change. It's 15 more damage per swing, and don't forget you can actually chain them up by reducing the cooldown whenever you hit an axe on somebody. So 105 can really stack up, and you farm your ultimate much faster. I think it's a really good change for Queen, and it might make Queen a lot more playable, to be honest. Next up, we have Reinhardt. Earthshatter, knockdown duration increased from 2.75 to 3 seconds, and shockwave range increased from 20 to 25, which I think is pretty good. Will it be enough to make Reinhardt not shit? Probably not, because Reinhardt just explodes every time he drops his shield, but, it's a welcome change. Maybe Shatter will be able to hit more people. I love hitting the Fortified Orisa or somebody else. It doesn't change the fact that it's just gonna get Suzu'd or pulled or pedo platformed or faded, or you're just gonna get slapped or stunned. But, it's a welcome change. You can give some hope to Reinhardt players. They definitely need it right now. Next up, we have Sigma. Experimental Barrier movement speed increased from 16.5 to 20. I don't know who asked for this, but it's a faster movement for the shield thing. I don't know. I think Sigma is on a good spot right now. I don't think it changes anything, but it's next up, the big one, Wrecking Ball. Grappling Claw. Hold the jump input while using Grappling Claw to retract it, pulling yourself towards the anchor point. This action can be rebound in his hero settings. Now has a 1-second cooldown if Wrecking Ball never reaches ramming speed before cancelling the ability. So that's the little flaming ball thing, right? So if you don't reach it, it actually has a 1-second cooldown, so you can grapple again. Interacting him with hack, hinder, and stunts will still trigger the full cooldown. That's pretty cool. The maximum duration timer no longer triggers unless he reaches ramming speed. So first off, with Grappling Claw, great change. I think it's going to change everything about Wrecking Ball rollouts, and I'm sure we're going to get abused by bulk players just hanging and doing silly stuff. I think it's going to make the character a lot more fun to play, a lot sillier, and I'm sure there's going to be new tech revolving around the fact that the cooldown is reduced if you don't reach, Fireball mode. Adaptive Shield is the next change, can now be reactivated to redistribute up to 300 overhealth to nearby allies, capping at 75 per person. So now, if you had trouble dealing with a 175 Tracer, I'm talking about her HP, try dealing with a 250 HP Tracer, running it down into your bankline with a Ball Slam, and a Genji who has, I think, 300 HP. I think it's an interesting change, to say the least. And also, enemy and ally detection radius increased from 10 to 13 meters. So, yeah, I think it's a change for sure. Queen was meta for quite a while just purely because she gave more HP to her squishies. So I think this change, considering the fact that it gives it to everyone, if you're playing Lucio, which Lucio's always played, Tracer, Genji, or something else like that, and a Moira, it's a team with probably around 50 more HP overall, running it into your backline. I think Ball, in the hands of Ball players like Chasm, might be a little bit abusive. I know it's going to be more abusive than your relationship with your parents, but it's definitely going to be a little bit silly. And, to top it all off, Minefield health increased from 50 to 60. because these changes were not enough to make Ball, you know, playable. I just want to read the developer comments. The general goals here are to add a direct way for Wrecking Ball to support his allies aside from purely enemy team disruption, make the hero more approachable while also adding more avenues for skill expression and improve quality of life around the grapple. I think they have a secret ball player on the Overwatch dev team that is kind of pulling the strings behind the background, because these are not some silly changes, it's quite the buffs. But we'll see, I might be wrong, who knows, it might be a Reinhardt meta, you know, the shatter buff. It can compete with these changes for sure. Next up, Sombra damage, you know, damage row. Virus, total damage over time decreased from 100 to 90. Great, yes, that's less damage. Yeah, you know, yeah. Tracer, a very oppressive DPS for high elo, probably not in low elo, but some might say it's a lobby admin. Recoil cooldown increased from 12 to 13, so Tracer players might get cucked there. And Pulse Bomb base projectile size decreased from 0.2 to 0.1 meters. The total projectile size is now 0.25 meters. I don't think it changes much for the character, because the character does way too much damage, but maybe the character won't be that OP. I think it's going to be really broken with a bulk, even with these changes. Next up, we have Venture. Venture got some changes before getting released. Impact damage decreased from 60 to 40. Damage over time increased from 40 to 60. Clobber. Impact damage decreased from 40 to 30. Damage over time increased from 30 to 40. So these changes, you know, if I have to go over them, I think they want less burst and more damage over time, because it's never fun to play against burst damage. The character was a little bit too bursty, if I could say that. You know, I think it's a most welcome change for sure. Tectonic Shock vertical knockback decreased by 30. I think that's fine, because, you know, you don't want people to be flying too much in the air. It's hard to aim at them. You're trying to, you know, do damage to them. I think it's okay, you know. I don't think it's anything too crazy. Some small adjustments here and there. Maybe nerfs, maybe buffs. We'll see. I think it's more on the nerf side, you know. Next up, support Larry. Much needed changes. She's been played a lot more, but who knows? Maybe these changes are going to be quite good. Primary fire recovery increased from 0.2 to 0.25. I'm not sure if this reverts the last change, but now you can shoot way less per second. So I think that's okay. Secondary fire heal per second increased from 105 to 115. So they want to focus more on the healing, less on the damage, which is okay. I think Larry suffers in the healing aspect, so maybe this is actually a really good change. We'll see what the support players say. Next up, we have a weird change, Sonic Amplifier. Damage per projectile decreased from 20 to 18, so that's every single projectile on the left click. Every time you press a right click now, it deals 6 damage less, which might be a big deal, maybe not. I don't know if it breaks any damage thresholds. By that I mean like maybe some combos get broken, but I don't know. And Soundwave, damage increased from 35 to 45. Oh, that's actually interesting, because now the boob does 10 more damage. And overall, I think Lucio does more damage now. So maybe nothing really changed, right? Maybe they want to see Lucio's boob more and hit less shots. It's really hard to hit left click. Next up, my personal main character, Life Fever. Rejuvenating Dash. Heal increased from 50 to 60. And Tree of Life pulse heal increased from 75 to 90. I don't mean to say anything, but I think these are quite good changes for Life Weaver. Will Life Weaver be meta now? Maybe, probably not. I think Life Weaver suffers from the fact that he just doesn't deal enough damage and he doesn't heal enough anymore with the health buffs. The tree might be really OP right now. I think it's going to be really hard to kill people because it also gives over health. I think Life Weaver is much better now. Don't forget the DPS passive. The DPS passive fucking sucks. Sorry for swearing, YouTube. I think Life Weaver is still probably not going to be meta, but maybe. I don't know, Team Schmungus played a bit of it, but it's okay. You know, I think good changes, you know. Next up, more Biotic Grasp. Damage per second decreased from 65 to 60, and Coalescent Self-Heal per second increased from 50 to 55. The damage per second one might be a big deal because it's around a 9% decrease in damage. Who knows? Maybe breaks the character. And the self-heal, I don't think it matters. You weren't healing more through Coalescence anyways, unless she was literally AFK and your team had an aim-locking hacking Widowmaker who one-shots her across the map. The changes for this patch, except Venture, are pretty lackluster, but I think they didn't want to be too crazy, purely because they're reworking Bow in a huge way and adding a new hero, so I think they want to be a little bit more chill. I can see why that is. There's a lot of big things happening right now with Season 10, so I don't think the changes are that crazy. But the bow change, that one is probably a little bit too silly, but we'll see for sure. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment and all of the other things YouTubers always say. And check out my stream when Season 10 launches. Thank you so much and see you next time.